back to the kitchen here at My Table of Three. My name's Carrie, and I love that you're here with me today for another video. In this video, I am going to give you 3 recipes, chicken recipes that are both easy and healthy. These will be low carb and Trim Healthy Mama friendly. I'm going to use some fresh chicken breast in this first recipe I'm going to show you because I need something really fast. The other recipes, I'm going to show you how I use my canned chicken, which is basically just chicken breast or turkey breast, because I did come in some of that earlier. I'll show you the link up here in the top. I'm going to show you how to use that in 2 recipes as well. So come along with me in the kitchen and let me give you 3 easy meals for busy nights that hopefully will make your life easier like they do mine. All right, for this spicy baked chicken, here is a glance at the ingredients you will need. Now, just to let you know, all of these are recipes that I have on my blog, mytableofthree.com, as you see on the screen. So I'm going to link to the recipes below. I'm just going to make them and not show you recipe measurements because I've made these recipes so long, I don't even measure anymore. But I got you covered with exact measurements in those recipe links. So today for the spicy baked chicken, I'm going to use 3 chicken breasts. I got these on sale at, I think I got them on sale at Kroger. Actually, no, Walmart. And I just got 3 here because there's only 3 of us. You can trim the fat off if you want to, but I leave it on there because it's flavor. And you can always, whoever's eating the breast can trim it off if they don't want to eat it. Then you're going to need spices like garlic powder, salt, some mayonnaise of choice. I just use whatever because I like Duke's, but hey, I can get that cheaper, so that's what I get from Aldi. And your favorite hot sauce. This is the only one I have on hand right now because my 14-year-old loves spicy stuff and goes through it like crazy. So I'm going to use that. I may sprinkle in some bacon bits. It is not in the original recipe, but hey, why not? Because I need to use these up out of the pantry, and bacon makes everything better. The last thing we need is a half a block of cheese. Again, I'm just using a half a block, measurements in the link below. This is my handy dandy chopping block that actually has a grater mixed in. You'll see me grate the cheese. I've already started. My sister-in-law got this for me. A lot of you guys asked for it. I got it on a link to it on Amazon below in my description. Now, let me get all this mixed up and I'll show you how to throw it together and what I serve it with when it's done. Okay, so first thing I do, I got my 3 chicken breasts. I'm just going to season to taste. You can do the same thing. I'm just going to do a little bit of salt, garlic pepper, garlic paper. Lord have mercy, guys. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth when you're here. If you're new, you may not know that. If you've stuck around for a while, you can pretty much tell. All right, so then I'm going to set this aside. Really simple. Oh, and I've got this cutting board I showed you guys earlier. Just to let you know, it is a little bit of a pain to wash. I'm not going to say a pain because it's worth it, but it cannot go in the dishwasher, you know, because it's wood and it's got all these compartments. So one thing I like to do is I never cut meat on it. Never cut meat. I do cheese and things like that, but mainly chop vegetables and dry things, and then that way I can wipe it down really good with the soapy rag, wipe it down with the clean rag, and then sanitize it with some Clorox wipes, or not Clorox wipes, but some vinegar wipes to clean it real good. So I don't use meat on it, so there's one caveat to the super cute and super neat board. Next thing is the hot sauce. I gave you measurements in that link below, but use it to your heart's content. If you like spicy, you like spicy, like my 14-year-old. If you're a weakling like me, you may cry a little bit if you use too much. So use as little as you need to be able to enjoy it. All right, so you can also add as much as you like, and then the guys can always add more here in this house if they need it. That way Mama can eat it and not get, not get too much. All right, I don't have some of the ingredients in the recipe, so we are adapting. There is my sauce. I'm going to taste it really quick just to see how it is, because it may even need a little bit more for me. Yep, it does. Okay, this is a really good flavorful because of the fat in the mayonnaise. This is the Trim Healthy Mama S if you follow that diet. If you're keto, this can work for you. And low carb as well. If you want to do a low fat option, use a plain Greek yogurt and your boneless, skinless chicken breast. We're just going to go with the low carb Trim Healthy Mama S version today. So this is going to keep this boneless, skinless breast from drying out. So I am just going to put some on each breast. Now remember, once your spoon touches that chicken and touches this bowl, you can't use it for anything else. So if you're going to use any of, okay, got a phone call on my camera stop, but like I was saying, if you're going to use any of this as a dipping sauce, do not touch your chicken with your spoon and then put it back in here. I'm gonna save a little bit of this in case somebody wants to dip their chicken in. So I'm just gonna set this aside, and now I'm gonna spread it across my chicken. And you wanna cover all the chicken so that it doesn't have any spots showing that does not have that buffalo sauce or that spicy sauce, mayonnaise sauce on it. All right, here we go. Okay. So there we go. I'm gonna put that in the sink. So now I have my cheese that I grated here. Let's see, am I gonna put the bacon bits? Why not? I'm just gonna sprinkle some bacon bits. Remember I said this is not in the recipe below, but we love bacon, and let's jazz it up a little bit. So that's probably about a couple of tablespoons of these real bacon bits. I got those from Aldi. The next thing I'm gonna do is sprinkle some freshly shredded cheese over the top. Do as little as much as you want. Measurements again are on that recipe. All right, I'm gonna put this in the oven, and I'm going to, yeah, go ahead and use all that, because why not? Put this in the oven and bake it, and I will put the cooking instructions, the temperature and the time right here on the screen, and then we'll come back and show you how I serve it. Today I'm just serving it with some collard greens that I cooked in my Instapot. So this already smells good and it's not even cooked. Be back in a few. There it is. There it is, guys. There is our spicy baked chicken and our side of collard greens that I cooked in the Instapot. Fun fact about me, I just started eating collard greens in the last few months. But there we have it. That is a low-carb lunch or dinner. It is easy. It's a Trim Healthy Mile S if you follow that. But it's healthy all around, even if you don't follow those diets. This next recipe is my BBQ Chicken Casserole. It's a hit in our family and on the blog. This is made low-carb and gluten-free, but you can totally substitute it for regular diets, and I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, guys, so we're going to start with our base, which is barbecue chicken. Now, I'm just going to use some of the turkey that I actually canned when I got it on sale back in December. But I also have chicken that I do like this. But you could also use, if you don't can your own meats, that's totally fine. You could use leftover shredded chicken. You could use canned chicken from the store. In the recipe that I link below, it will tell you how much you need. Also, for the filling, you need your favorite barbecue sauce. This is one of my favorite sugar-free barbecue sauces. You can make your own. In the recipe post I link, I do share some options if you need a Trim Healthy Mama or low-carb homemade recipe or store-bought options. And I am actually this time going to add some of this barbecue hickory seasoning because I'm trying to use it up out of my pantry this month. And I like the way it flavors this. So we're going to add a little bit more flavoring without a lot more carbs. So that is the mix for the filling. And then for the cornbread topping, you could use a Jiffy Mix, follow directions on the back of the box, add some cheddar cheese, and then layer it on top. Or you can make your own homemade cornbread recipe that you like, add some cheese and cook it, put it on the top, and then you just bake the casserole according to your cornbread cooking time. But I am going to use almond flour. There is some oat fiber in here. There is some garlic powder, some onion powder, melted butter, and there is salt and pepper. You can use that to taste. I'm actually adding some nutritional yeast flakes today. If you're not familiar with that, it is not an active yeast. It is pretty much just for flavor. It adds a cheesy, nutty flavor, and it's also fortified, with some B vitamins. So we like the taste of it, and we like adding it to our food. I have 1 egg slightly beaten, 1 cup of almond milk. You can use, again, you do your own cornbread. If you want to use almond milk but use milk, you can. And I also added some vinegar in there, which melts in the recipe to make that kind of like a buttermilk. And yes, that's my dog saying he wants to help. And then also a cup of cheddar cheese that I just recently shredded. This was the other half to that blob that you saw me put on top of the chicken. So there's our ingredients. Let's put it together and I'll show you how I whip this up. Also, one ingredient I forgot to tell you about the cornbread topping is baking powder. But now we're going to start on our filling. And I'm just going to mix it, honestly, right in my casserole dish because the less dish, the better that I mess up. And this canned chicken, when you can your own, you can see that it flakes just like the canned chicken you would get. You can flake it up or you can leave it in chunks, however you like but it tastes amazing. And when you can your own meats, you control what goes in it, the flavors, the liquid, and you also know how fresh the meat is. So that is 2 jars of my canned turkey. I normally use chicken. Like I said, if you don't have canned meat, use a canned chicken from the store. Use shredded rotisserie chicken. Use leftover chicken from another meal. Any of that. So this is going to be my barbecue sauce that you're adding. Wipe my hands really quick. Again, I'm going to use up some of the seasoning from my pantry. I got a ton of seasonings and I'm trying to go through my pantry and use what I have when I need it. So I'm not going to add any salt to this because I already have a little bit of salt when I can my meat, and there is a little bit of salt in this. So then you're just going to stir it up. You could also add onions and peppers. You could add any kind of other toppings you want to go in here with your barbecue. Oh, some caramelized onions, which I have some of those in my pantry. I could have used that, but I'm not going to get it out now. I'm just going to do it like I normally do. So I'm just going to spread it out like that on the bottom layer. I'm going to wipe my dish down just a little bit so it doesn't. Okay, so there is your barbecue chicken layer. Now we're going to work on the cornbread layer. Let's work on my low-carb cornbread, and this is in here. I probably should have done it in a clear bowl so you guys can see it, but let's just do this for now. Let's see if I can point you down a little bit more. There we go. So this is the almond meal. Don't worry about all the measurements. They're in the recipe link below. This is the oat fiber and the garlic powder and onion powder. This is the salt and pepper that I'm using and some nutritional yeast. Again, that's optional. It's not in the original recipe, I don't believe, but I like the flavor of it. So I'm going to mix my dry ingredients up really quick. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of this baking powder. Stir that in. Again, use whatever cornbread recipe your family enjoys, and then you would just bake the casserole according to the directions for your cornbread because your chicken is basically done. All right, so 1 egg. You guys, I just have a small flock of chickens, and all of my hens have started laying again after a few months of not laying, so I'm tickled to death about that. Melted butter, 2 tablespoons, but again, it's in the recipe. And I'm using 1 cup of almond milk and some vinegar to make an almond milk buttermilk. It's amazing how you can do that, huh? Because traditional buttermilk is not low carb. You guys can totally make this dairy-free by using a dairy-free cheese or leaving the cheese out. And you could leave the butter out if you need to and use coconut oil instead, if you need a dairy-free option. So I am just going to mix that up really good. Let me wipe down everything really quick. All right, and so that is a low-carb, keto-friendly Trim Healthy Mama cornbread. A mock cornbread, of course, because there's no corn or grains in it. Now we're going to pull our cheese over and just mix that in. Try not to make a mess like I do, but hey, I've heard that messy cooks are good cooks, so I'll take it. All right, put that a little bit in there. Now we're going to mix this in. Here's our chicken, barbecue chicken that we added earlier. I'm going to actually change now to a spoon. And you just want to dollop this over the casserole. Okay. Get it all on there. All right, and then we're just going to, can you see that? Let me scoot you back a little bit so you can see. Then you're just going to kind of spread it over the top of the barbecue chicken mixture. This is one of my favorites. I love it. It's kind of like a comfort food because you got your bread topping and some yummy barbecue chicken, which is really good. So there it is. I am going to put the, actually wrap this up and put it in the refrigerator because we have, I'm going to turn you up and talk to you. This is actually, I'm making this ahead for tomorrow. So there's a note, you can do that. I am going to clean the casserole dish up so there's nothing around the edges, wrap it up and put it in the fridge. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you how I bake it. All right, guys, so today I'm going to show you, I am about to, we had a busy morning. We are back. It is, I think it's a little bit close to 2. So we haven't had lunch and it's not dinner time. So we're going to have a late lunch, which will be our main meal of the day. But I'm going to show you how I bake the barbecue chicken casserole. So I just pulled it out of the refrigerator. I took the foil off of it and put it in a preheated 350-degree oven. And I'm going to bake it. And I'll show you how I put it in and tell you how long I bake it. And then we'll see how it comes when it comes out. And I am just going to serve it with one of these salad kits. I got this, I found them on sale, clearance markdown, you know. I love those because these salad kits can be expensive, but this one was $3.99 for a family size bag, which is about what you pay for the small one. Let's see, and this one is a sunflower bacon crunch. So we're going to have one of these bags with our barbecue chicken casserole. So I'll come back and show you how we put it in, tell you how long it's going to bake, and then we'll see how we plate it up. All right, guys, so this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. We are going to bake it for the amount of time that you see on the screen. Okay, and here it is, guys. Here it is out of the oven. You can see the barbecue chicken layer and then the cornbread layer on the top. It baked at 375. I said 350 earlier. I apologize. It's 375, and it bakes for 35 minutes. And there we are. And then this is the bacon salad kit you saw me earlier. So we are ready to eat, and this smells amazing. This next recipe is my crispy chicken cakes. It's one of the #1 recipes on my blog and has been since the day I published it. So it's one of our family favorites, and today I'm going to swap it out for the canned turkey that I have instead of the chicken that I use. But you can totally use canned chicken from the store, shredded leftover rotisserie chicken, or any leftover cooked chicken that you have. And if you're not making this low carb like I am, you can sub out the almond meal filler for cracker crumbs or regular flour or any kind of baking mix. All right, so the first thing I'm doing is just emptying my chicken in for these crispy chicken cakes. Again, I'm just going to say chicken, but you guys know this is, actually this is turkey, and this is 1 ground. I had 1 jar left of chicken that I canned in 2021, so I want to use it. And so this is going to be a mix of chicken and turkey, but you won't be able to tell the difference once you get all the spices and everything in. Like I was saying in the introduction to this recipe, you could use the canned chicken that you get from a grocery store, any kind of leftover chicken that you had, leftover turkey from the holidays. You could even do this with pork, guys, and have pork patties, but this is basically like a play on tuna patties. I don't like tuna patties for some reason, but we love these chicken cakes, and I love them. So there is my chicken. Remember, full recipe is linked below. Then next thing I'm going to do is put in my filler or binder, which I'm using almond meal. You can use True Healthy Mama Bacon Blend if you're True Healthy Mama. You can use cracker crumbs or regular flour if you're not on any kind of diet. And this is Parmesan cheese and some chives. Then we are going to add in the cheese. And then our 2 eggs. Look how bright yellow those yolks are. Happy hands. All right, so make sure to get all that egg out because that's also going to help to bind your cakes. And now season up how you'd like. I'm going to do some salt, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. Typically I put onion powder in this, but I'm not going to this time because I put those chives. But sometimes I put both. All right, so let me grab my, and next thing you're going to do is just combine well. Let me pull you in so you can see. And so you're going to combine these, and then you're just going to form your patties. If you don't have whole eggs, you can use egg whites if you want to go less, you know, to lessen the fat. You could leave out. Now the cheese works as a binder and also adds flavor. But if you wanted to do a low-fat cheese, I guess you can. But I make these low-carb and Trim Healthy Mama S for those that follow those diets. So you don't need any of those light items because this would work fine. But any recipe is modifiable, so super easy to do. Okay, now I have clean hands and this is for my family, so I'm gonna get in there and mash this up a little bit and make patties with my own hands. You guys could use gloves if you're not cooking for, you know, your family, or if you want to use gloves with your family, you can do that too. But really, to get this to combine together, you need to use your hands. There's nothing like that. Really get that in. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to get those, and you're just going to patty them out. And you can make as many patties as you'd like. This is actually a little bit drier than it normally is. I think I'm going to add another egg. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so I just added another egg. It just depends on the brands of fillers that you use. You may kind of have to fill it out to see if you need an extra egg. And it's okay if you do. So, if you feel like it's not going to bind together, go ahead and add another egg. You know, different flours and different binders, even different almond meals, have a different dryness. So, it can happen, but it's easily fixed by just adding another egg. And what's not more protein, right? What's not good about that? Okay. So let's see if this fills out a little bit better. Yeah, see how it's already sticking together better there? Okay. I'm going to get these pattied up, and I'm going to come back and show you how I fry them in the skillet. So I'm going to put them in the skillet. I just brought some olive oil up to temp, and I'm just going to fry these in shallow oil until they are lightly brown. So you can mash them down on the other side and crispy, and then that probably takes about 5 to 6, maybe 7 to 8 minutes, and then we'll flip it over. We're just warming these through and making sure we cook the eggs in here. I'll come back and show you how I flip them, or actually what they look like when they've been flipped and they're all golden brown. Okay, I just flipped these over. Now they're going to cook for about 5 to 6 minutes on this side, and then they will be ready to go. Now I'm just going to finish cooking the rest of the patties that I got on the plate, and I'll come back and show you how I serve this up with some loaded mashed cauliflower. Alright, so there they are finished, the crispy chicken cakes. And there is our side. This is just some loaded mashed cauliflower. I sprinkled some fresh parsley on top just for a fresh pop of flavor. And there you have it. That's our third recipe, my crispy chicken cakes. And one of our favorites. This recipe can make 7 large ones, like large enough to go on a hamburger bun, or 10 to 11, maybe 12 smaller ones, depending on how large you make them. Also a tip, they stick together better also once you form your patties. And if you let them sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, that helps too. So if you're having a trouble with them doing, like staying together, try that extra egg and let them sit in the refrigerator. But there you go, we are going to eat. All right, there you go, guys. 3 easy chicken recipes that I hope you will find helpful in your busy times. And just know that I did show you how to make them low-carb, gluten-free, or Trim Healthy Mama if you follow that lifestyle. But these are just whole food recipes that any family can enjoy. You don't have to be in any specific diet to enjoy these 3 chicken recipes. Again, don't forget to find the recipe or the links to the recipes below. All 3 of them will be there and take you straight to my blog post where you can find step-by-step and every measurement for every recipe. Okay, also I wanted to say, if you are new here to my channel, I would really appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up if you found these 3 recipes helpful. Also, if you like what you see here, please subscribe. I'm this close to my 3,000 mark subscribers, and I'd love to have you help me make it there. Also, you can find me here on Instagram at mytableofthree. So just search me there. And if you make any of these recipes, please tag me over there on Instagram and show me a picture. I'd love to see that. But until the next video, guys, I say God bless, and I'll see you next time.